Good. All right. We can get started with Jordan.
Hey, Matt. How you doing?
Good. You?
Good, thanks. How's your off season been so far?
Been really good. Yeah, it's been great so far.
What do you make of new coordinator Joe DeCamillis, and what's his energy like during practice?
Super high energy. I think from the get, he just kind of commands the attention of players. And I mean, his energy is infectious. I mean, he gets guys going, gets the guys rolling. Obviously he's done at the highest level. He's won world championships. And so he kind of has the respect from that aspect of it. But guys know that he's a serious guy and that he can command and control. And so guys respect him and guys listen.
Stu.
Hey, Matt, what's it been like as you've kind of worked through having different long snappers here on the roster? Obviously, you worked with Jake last year. What sorts of things do you do as a kicker to develop a rapport with them, even though it's, a non-padded setting right now, not necessarily live reps, so to speak?
Yeah, just kind of communicating, talking through their tendencies, what they like, how they want to go about it, and just honestly observing, like paying attention to how they snap, their cadences, their timing, because jumping back and forth between snappers can be, and especially in a live field goal setting when you're kicking, can even the slightest little bit of, a tenth or a half a second off on the timing of things can throw things off. So just making sure you know who's snapping, paying attention to that, knowing their tendencies so you can anticipate as best you can of what's coming and what you're dealing with. Both of them are outstanding snappers, but just little things like that, just kind of observing and anticipating their own cadences and their timing and things.
Thank you.
Kevin.
Hey, Matt, what has been kind of the spirit or the mood of special teams in OTAs? Seems like a kind of an important OTA for your unit in particular, given new coaches, a lot of new guys.
Sorry, sorry, I thought you froze.
That was the end of the question.
I thought you froze. I thought you froze for a second on the, no, it's been really good. Again, just, we got a big group of specialists right now. I think there's 8 of us, and it's a good, it's a competition setting. So, I mean, guys are pushing guys to, be better, and we got a good group of guys. I think we all get along very well, and it's just being able to, be the best version of you that you can be, and just kind of playing off of, each other, and just being able to constantly learn. I mean, I can learn things from each and every guy. So just being able to, pick their brain. We all want to win. We all want to be the best we can be. And so just kind of taking that environment to it.
Have you been in a camp with this many specialists? And what's the significance of that?
No, I haven't. Typically it's, there's one other kicker you're competing against, things like that. I think COVID is the significance of it. I mean, carrying some extra players on the practice squad definitely has benefited the specialist community. I think every single team's carrying a backup, kicker, punter, almost a whole unit. So I think it's getting more jobs for specialists, which is great. But yeah, it's just, I think it's a little bit of a learning curve, knowing that, you got to split reps, or, you got to pass off. I'm not getting as many reps right now just due to, we're sharing stuff, but it's a good time to learn and pick, and we can obviously hit more on our own and things like that. So it's good to have different perspectives and different eyes on things, because we're all communicating and we're all trying to get better and learn from each other. So it's good.
We often ask players what they've been working on individually in the off season. I don't know if it's different with a kicker. You've been working on kicking the ball, or are there specific things that you've been working on?
Yeah, I mean, there's always room for improvement. So you're always trying to get better and tighten things up and make sure that every single kick is repeatable. Every single kick is the exact same, because if you can repeat your same process, your same kick that takes a lot of the situations out of it. You know, if it's a game winner, it should be the same kick as it's a PAT in the first quarter. Being able to have a strict process that you go through, being able to control those emotions, manage yourself in a manner that is going to help when those clutch situations come up, or, you know, those dire moments come in, you can be able to handle and perform to the best of your abilities under pressure.
Thanks, Matt.
Great shirt as well, Kevin.
Gary.
You're a fan?
Yeah, it looks good. Big fan.
You're an England fan? Yeah.
My wife's British, so her whole family's
Very
England
good.
fan. So the old school Umbro. I'm liking it. Good.
Excellent. We'll compare notes.
Hey, Matt, as a guy that came in and established himself last season, making big kicks and giving the Rams consistency that they had lacked, I'm just curious, does that ever afford a kicker a measure of being comfortable, you know, coming into a season, or are you kind of always in the back of your mind, you know, having someone that could take your job? Is that kind of always in the back of your mind?
I mean, it's the NFL. I mean, it's always there, right? You have to the saying where it's easier to get to the top than stay at the top. I mean, there's so many kickers out there. So, I mean, if you don't perform, especially as a kicker, I feel like if you don't perform 1 game, 2 games, I mean, they could be looking for someone else to come in. And so it's a constant, more so battle with myself, being able to, you know, compete with myself and reach the goals and achieve the things that I've set out for myself. I try not to worry about anyone else except for myself. But I mean, that's the business of the NFL. I mean, there's guys out there that can, you know, that can play and they're trying to make it. And if you know, take your foot off the gas for a second, you know, and get complacent or get comfortable, I feel like, you know, there's guys that are working. And so you got to constantly have that mentality to keep your foot on the gas, stay working, and become the best version of yourself you can be. So.
Before you sat down, we were talking with Johnny Hecker, and he's a guy that has had such prolonged success.
Yeah.
He really hasn't had to, I mean, necessarily compete from, you know, with someone pushing him on the roster. The coaches have said, and Les Need have said, you know, signing Corey it's not a competition. Johnny's our punter, but he considers it a competition, and kind of echoed kind of some of what you said. I'm just curious, from your perspective, watching Hecker in these OTAs, what are your kind of impressions of him competing, you know, at least in his own mind for the job?
Yeah, I think when you're in a setting like this, Johnny has the mindset for it, because as whoever says what they're saying, coaches, GMs, things like that, at the end of the day, the team wants to win. And so they're going to put the team out there that they think can win. I think Johnny's got the right mindset to it, of even if it's not a competition, just being out there. We're all athletes. We're all competitive. So when people start hitting balls and, you know, the juices get flowing, I mean, that competitive side comes out. And so I think both of them, Johnny and Corey, have been hitting really good. Super consistent. I can't say enough about both of them. They're both, I mean, Corey was a 3-year starter and Johnny's been doing his thing for 10 years in the league. And so they're both great punters, and it's been fun to watch both of them just kind of, you know, hitting the ball and going at it. But I think Johnny's got the right mindset to it as well.
Thanks very much.
Thanks.
And we'll wrap up with Maria.
Hey, nice to see you again, Matt. How you doing?
Good. You?
Good, thank you. You were talking about the physicality of, you know, trying to kick the same way every time to kind of keep that process going. What is your mental process as far as when you go up there? Do you have the same thoughts in your mind, or how do you sort of work the mental game?
I mean, it's just as much as working physical game. You got to work on it. I mean, it's a constant ongoing process of trying to become the best mental version of yourself you can be. And I feel like kicking is probably one of the most mental positions in the NFL, if not like the most by far. And so just being able to constantly work on that, having the same physical process that you go through. So things are just in routine, in rhythm, And then also, yeah, having the same mental process, being able to trust in what you're doing. And I think those go hand in hand. If you know that your physical process is the same, then your mental can trust it, and you can trust what's going to happen. You can trust the repetitions that you're going through, and just getting mental reps too, making sure that you see the kick before it happens. You've been there before it happens. Because kicking is such a confidence thing. I mean, when you're on, you're confident, things are good. And then there's slumps, and then there's, and start trying to battle that. And how can you stay level throughout the whole process? And so, yeah, I have a full mental process that I go through on each kick, and it is the same with the physical. So
It's definitely a challenging process, that's for sure.
Yes, it is. Yep, definitely.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, that's all for today. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
Thank you.